Next on Heisman Talk, all you need to know about the ACC during the offseason. And here's your host, the Nate Dogg.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Heisman Talk. Today we are going to be talking about the ACC, more specifically in the Atlantic Division. Figured I'd split this up into two videos, do one on the Atlantic Division, one on the Coastal Division. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I know there's a lot going on in today's world, and we've been very limited as to what we can and can't do. Sports have been cut off from us, so I really hope to bring excitement back into the living room or wherever you're watching my videos. Really hope you like these videos and can gain something out of it. I try to bring the most relevant and accurate news and updates from around the nation for college football. So first off, let's talk about Clemson. Clemson comes off in a very impressive season under Dabo Swinney. Second year with quarterback Trevor Lawrence. They were favorites to win the national championship, and unfortunately they come up a little short. But let's be real, LSU was the team to beat, and no one could beat them. But with that being said, they have not skipped a beat in recruiting. They come off another impressive year in the 2020 class, coming in at number 3 behind Georgia and Alabama. And most importantly, they come off at number 1 in the ACC with their 2 top signees. Some notable freshmen, Brian Breezy, defensive tackle, 6'5", 290. This kid is so explosive. His first step off the line of scrimmage is so quick. And really, you think he's going off sides most of the times. He's so fast. Loves his outside swim move. A lot of guys will come outside and they'll go back in or whatever, do a little spin. This guy does a 1-2 punch and bam, he's past you on the outside and he makes the quarterback or whoever is running the ball pay. Very explosive kid. Be looking out for this guy. I'm not really sure how Clemson's defensive line is looking this year. I know last year was kind of a rebuilding year for them last year. Still looked really good, obviously, making it to the national title, but this year will be interesting to see. So look for Brian Breezy to make an impact right away. Another guy on Clemson's radar is DJ Uiagalelei. I think I pronounced that right. Quarterback out of California, number 1 pro-style quarterback in the nation, 6'4.5", 246. This kid does it all. Great accuracy. Anything from a tight spiral between double coverage to a long, deep ball, 50-plus yards. But the most impressive thing about this kid that I liked is his progressions. A lot of guys at the age of 18 or coming out of high school into college, they'll make 1 or 2 reads, 1 or 2 progressions as far as wide receivers, and they kind of just either try to force the ball or they try to run it, and it just causes trouble. This guy is super patient in the pocket, lets the play develop, and just works with what he has and goes to the check down if need be. And that's really impressive. Obviously, he's going to have another year under Trevor Lawrence to kind of just learn, mature, and develop. But here in about 2 years, be looking for DJ as a Heisman favorite, if not one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the nation. So then we go down to Florida State. Florida State has been in a lot of trouble lately. They lose Jimbo Fisher to A&M due to Jimbo Fisher's lack of resources, and really he left because they wouldn't allow him to upgrade the facilities or anything like that. They bring in Willie Taggart from USF, and Coach Taggart had a lot of success at USF, but he just couldn't get the job done. Same with Oregon, and same at Florida State. They come off of a 6-7 season. They fire Willie Taggart, and they bring in a coach like Mike Norvell from Memphis. He's had a lot of success up there. Obviously, if you watch college football, you know how well Memphis has done. I believe they made an appearance in the Cotton Bowl for the first time ever against Penn State this past year and played really well. So I'm very curious to see how FSU treats Mike Norvell and if they allow him to do the things that Jimbo Fisher wanted to do as far as upgrading facilities. So some notable freshmen to look out for Florida State. First off, we have Brian Robinson. He's a wide receiver, 6'1", 185, number 32 wide receiver in the nation. When I watch film on this guy, nothing really said to me, wow, this guy is a top wide receiver. But what really did stand out to me was just his ability to do everything right. He didn't do everything great, but he did everything right. He's a guy that likes to get yards. He doesn't try to juke and jive around. He just gets upfield, goes north and south, and gets you yards when you need it. And a lot of times, those are some of the best wide receivers in the nation. They break tackles, they get 5 or 6 yards, and they keep the drive alive. So that's really important. So be on the lookout for him. And then we look at Steven Dix Jr., outside linebacker, 6'2", 210. He's the number 15 outside linebacker in the nation. One thing that stood out to me from watching him was that he can get upfield really quickly. A lot of guys have trouble getting around offensive linemen or shedding blocks on running backs. This kid sheds the blocks well, and he gets to the ball. Doesn't give up on the play. Either whether it's in the backfield or it's 15 yards down the field, he's making a tackle. So be on the lookout for him. Then we skip down to NC State under Dave Doran. Last year they did not have a very good season. They went 4-8, unfortunately. And NC State's one of those teams that for a while was up at the top. I believe it was 2 years ago, they were almost in contention to beating Clemson if it wasn't for a missed field goal. So you kind of wonder what happened to them. They've had a few star players that have gone on to the NFL and played really well. So hopefully they can turn it around. They finish off 41 in the nation in recruiting and 6th in the ACC. So some standout players that they're bringing in. Porter Rooks, he's a wide receiver. He's the number 37 wide receiver in the nation, 6'1", 191. Not the biggest guy, but he attacks the ball. That's what jumps out to me when I watch him on tape is his ability to go get the ball. Maybe not so much high point the ball, but he just runs routes well, and he knows how to grab the ball well. And then Davin Van, defensive tackle, 6'1.5", 273. He's the number 26 defensive tackle in the nation. Unfortunately, I couldn't find much film on this guy. Obviously a pretty big kid, and he's number 26 in the nation defensive tackle, so he's got to be pretty decent. Like I said, I couldn't find much film on him, so I can't really analyze his tape very well. But hopefully he has a great season as well. And then we go down to Louisville. Again, Louisville, one of those teams that was in the top 10 at one point, even in the nation, competing against Clemson when it was Lamar Jackson versus Deshaun Watson. Lamar Jackson wins the Heisman, and then they kind of just dip off the map. And you're kind of just throwing your hands up saying, what happened? Was it a coaching change? Scott Satterfield is a great coach. He had a lot of success at App State a few years ago before Drinkwitz took over for him. And obviously Drinkwitz is now at Missouri. So App State had a very good program for a few years. And so hopefully Scott Satterfield can reestablish that Louisville mentality of quick offense and the ability to keep up with Clemson. But the ACC is getting tougher and tougher each year, I'm telling you what. And you'll find out more in the next video. Honestly, the Coastal Division excites me more than the Atlantic Division. I think there's a few teams in the Coastal that'll make a jump this year. But we'll get to that later in the next video. So Louisville comes off of an 8-5 season. They finished 42 in the nation recruiting for 2020 and number 7 in the ACC. Some notable freshmen to look out for. Trevor Reed, offensive tackle, 6'5", 265. Big kid. Number 2 offensive tackle in the nation. Extends his hands well. Really good at putting his hands on the block and keeping the defender in front of him. I think this kid is going to be something special. Obviously on the lighter side at 265, probably wants to be more so in the range of 300, 310 by the time he gets to his junior year. But when he gets to those college facilities, he'll get some weight on him, so I think he's going to be just fine. And finally, we look at Cameron Wilson, outside linebacker, 6'1", 206. This kid's number 32 in the nation as outside linebackers go. And yeah, this kid jumped out to me on tape for his size. He's very versatile. Plays outside, inside linebacker, although he's listed as an outside linebacker in recruiting. Very versatile, and he's super quick. When they're running outside screens or, quick slants, stuff like that, he gets to the ball speedy quick. I even wrote down in my notes he's speedy. So that's another guy to look out for Louisville is Cameron Wilson. Well, that's it for today's video. Like I said, on the next video, we'll talk about the Coastal Division. But until then, please subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you next on Heisman Talk. Thanks again. This is Nate Dogg, signing off.
You've been watching Heisman Talk. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date for the latest college football news from around the nation.